Today we're diving together into Open Great League with a Bewear team. This Pokemon is very underrated at the moment, has access to pretty good moves, something like a superpower or something like a payback for the Nook. It is weak to other fighters, but at the same time it can beat down those ghost types because it has access to that Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw is a very good move in general, and of course in today's content we're gonna see it in action not only against the best possible lead scenarios but also against the worst ones, so stay tuned till the end because we're gonna use this Bewear in a very good and solid ABB team that you can definitely try out hopefully next season with that rework that we're gonna see in a while. So Bewear for the win, but before we hop into the commentary, cue the intro. Starting off the video, and let's see now what we have going on. Azumarill will be our first bad lead for today's content, and this is why I enjoy using Shadow Drapion even without Sludge on the entire meta. Even against the worst lead scenarios, you always have something to throw. Even when resisted, those crunches when they're coming back to back can still finish off even a fairy type, as you're gonna see over here. A second crunch is imminent. Azumarill is pretty bulky, but not that bulky. We can survive the falling ice beam now and still provide a little bit of extra pressure with that crunch. Azumarill is also a Pokemon which can handle our backline pretty effectively, so just keep that in mind. Now with us out of the way, perhaps we can have the upper hand whatever lies at the back, but they have another hard check to our double fighting backline. One is a ghost type and the other, well, that's a Skarmory. So with that in mind, now we're just gonna keep going at it with our Poliwrath, able to debuff this Annihilate a lot, and in the process they have to sacrifice a lot of energy, otherwise we can simply get to another Ice Wind. They know that, so they have to throw the remaining energy, and that gives us the edge to farm down with those Shadow Claws and catch the move on our Drapion. This is looking now super promising because we can get our hands to a double Nook. So here comes now the payback, and right after we can easily farm down, as you can see over here, so no sweat for our Bewear, nothing to be aware, to be honest. Into the next battle now, and let's see what this is gonna offer because we're having a Deoxys up in front. This is kinda good for us obviously because of those crunches dealing so much damage on their end, and now at the back they have the amazing Cradily. This Pokemon can go easily as a Crazily in Great League, and of course we're gonna come into the battle with our Bewear trying to catch at least one of those rock slides, able to tank the grass, not just barely enough, as you can see. Superpower now to grab the shield, and of course now this is still looking pretty promising for us because Poliwrath can absolutely farm down completely if they are not careful. Down goes the Cradily, and of course we're expecting that Deoxys to return into the battle. As soon as I see that Deoxys is returning, I'm just gonna press my Scald over here, trying to do as much damage as possible, not expecting the shield, but right after I will try to snipe them down with that crunch. Instead I pressed here the Aqua Tail because I was kinda sure they were gonna go for the shield, but that was obviously a mistake. Getting to the crunch right after, they managed to catch on the Snorlax, which is most probably gonna be used as a punching bag over here, and right after we have to tank the following move. It is the Bolt Slam. We cannot survive, but hopefully we can farm down with those counters, and now for the final time Deoxys returns into the battle. Poliwrath for the win and the Shadow Scald. Into the next battle now, Shadow Drapion. Let's see what you can offer here because we're having the Charjabug up against us. This is another kind of a bad lead for us because those X-Scissors in combination with those Volt Switches can hurt us a lot, but still Shadow Drapion can provide so much pressure even to that Pokemon. So X-Scissor can drop us super low, as you can see. Another move is coming off this time from our side, and the Crunch will grab their second shield out of the game. They want to rely a lot on that Charjabug, and to be fair, even with that Charjabug into play, I'm still kinda in a tough position because my Bewear here is super glassy, and of course one discharge can do massive damage to my Poliwrath. So keep that in mind because they have banked that energy, the remaining that they have, with a lot of HP actually for the end game, since they want to switch out to their Whiskas. Scald now for some extra damage, and we can drop them super low on the red section of HP. PvP. Now this is a race to the farm down, which is gonna end up in a draw. Bewear coming in, let's see what their third Pokemon might be, and they end up having a Skeledirge. Before that Incinerate is registered as damage, we managed to get the Nuke on their end, and another payback for the victory up against the Chargeback, since they are shieldless, and we managed to get a pretty solid victory with Bewear as our closer. So Swampert is obviously a very bad one for our Drapion, not only because of the ground typing. This is kinda fair, I guess, because we can still drop them to no HP with one Aqua Tail and one Crunch, but still they are gonna outspeed us to those charge attacks, and of course they can win those CMPs. So with that in mind, I'm just gonna keep going at it with those Crunches, trying to do as much work as possible, and at some point I will try to catch on my Poliwrath. We can do exactly that over here. I knew they were gonna throw, because not only we're getting super close to the Crunch, but they always need 5 Mud Shots for that first Hydro Cannon, 4 for the second, and then again 5 for the third, 4 for the fourth. It is a loop 5 4 5 4. Let's see now what is going on here, because not only we managed to catch that move from that Swampert, but at the same time we can draw out of their backline that Azumarill, which is pretty neat for us. Our Shadow Poliwrath is gonna have kind of a very close scenario, individual matchup actually, with the Azumarill, and we can finish it off eventually with our Drapion. Now it all depends on what they might be having as their third Pokemon, and of course we will try to completely farm down with our Bewear. Now they're having that Bastiodon, so let's get our hands on the superpower for massive damage, and they can survive. Even if that is gonna be a flamethrower, which it isn't, this was kinda weird with that Stone Edge, we can still farm down and reach to that amazing payback for the Nuke, and of course that is gonna wrap things up for this battle. Dragonite now is another bad lead that we can definitely not count on our backline, because we're looking at a pretty glassy team going up against a Pokemon that under shielding can easily farm down anything that we're gonna throw. So I'm just gonna block here, because I have a feeling that we can get our hands to the Crunch and try to snipe down that final shield. Now I'm gonna switch out to my Poliwrath, and since their defense is kinda lowered from my back-to-back Crunches, we can have the upper hand even with the counters. So Scald now for a little bit of extra push and pressure on their end on that Chargeback, and right after they're gonna go for the Discharge, no, the X-Scissor. So this gives me some edge, since we can absolutely come into the battle now with our Drapion, tank the following move that they're gonna throw, because they definitely have the energy needed for that, and right after we will try to finish off our opponent with our Bewear. So here comes now that Dragonite trying to catch I don't know what on that Sandslash, but we know better, able to farm up a little bit extra, get to a double superpower, one for the Sandslash, one for the Dragonite, and that will sum up this battle into an amazing victory. Cresselia now up against our Dark type Pokemon, and you already know that we need to get to those Crunches. My opponent though has a Fairy type at the back, which is always kind of a troublesome Pokemon for my backline, so I'm just gonna stay in here, and this is not looking that great, because now not only they have that Wigglytuff for my backline, but also that Cresselia, so we're looking kinda in a pickle situation. Let's see how we can play around this, because what started as a very good lead ended up as a very bad one for my backline. Anyways, Annihilate going in as well, not looking that great over here, but we can always count towards the end game and the shield advantage for our Bewear, because of that amazing payback that it has. Not only that, but also Shadow Claw here can do some severe damage to that Annihilate. So we're just gonna block here whatever they throw. I do not want to risk it at all, and right after we have almost a double payback coming up. So here comes the first one. Are they gonna take it? Oh my goodness, with the Nuke, of course they are, since they are unshielded, and of course right after we got another payback to guarantee the victory against Annihilate. Into the next battle now, up against a Turtonator, a Pokemon that was pretty good on the Fantasy Cup, and we're just gonna go all in here with those crunches. Just remember to throw just a little bit before that final Incinerate till they get to the move, which is the third one as always, and then before they unleash their second one, because you can snipe them down with your Drapion if you are fast enough. And you can see over here that not only we can get the shield, but at the same time we can push either for the second or the knockout, which is pretty great for our Drapion. Now at the very end they have that Revenant, and of course Icy Wind will do severe damage to them. Here comes now a move I'm pretty sure we can survive at least one Seed Bomb over here and still reach to the Icy Wind. This is how bulky Poliwrath can be sometimes, and with this need even that non-existent bulk is really gonna be appreciated by the other two Pokemon. So Swampert now unshielded of course, but with a little bit of extra energy, able to farm it down as well, and I'm just gonna go the bait over here. It is the Hydro Cannon, absolutely awesome for us, and right after we can block the next Hydro or the Muddy Water. I'm just out of words right now, and of course Superpower is gonna finish off that Swampy. Into the next battle now, trainers, and the final one for the video, Charge Attack up against our Drapion, and we're just gonna go all in with those crunches as always. So here comes the first move, I'm just gonna take it, you know how this drill is gonna go. So here comes now another crunch, able to do so much damage on their end, and unfortunately for me I get a little bit too greedy here and I'm not even gonna press my move. It doesn't matter, because as it seems I might actually survive the following Volt Switch, and we managed to push for the second shield as well. Aqua Tail for the win, trainers, because right now we can survive pretty much whatever they throw. This is looking pretty promising for us, able to farm down in the process, so whatever follows right after we can simply nuke it down with either the Superpower or the Payback. Oh my goodness, the damage on the Dragonair. Now at the back they have a Carbink, and of course all we need to do here is to reach to that Superpower, switch out to our second fighter, and at this point the Simple Scald will just do the trick up against that Carbink. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying around till the end, because it really means a lot, helps the channel grow, and of course helps this individual video go ahead and become kinda viral on the Pokemon Go community. Before you go, just remember to leave a huge like, subscribe to the channel, and of course over here I have two videos for you to check out. Feel free to check them out, and I will catch you up later into the next one.